Hello, my friends. We meet again. It's been a while. Where do we begin? Oh, now I remember. This is the Boss Rush Podcast pre-show. I'm your host, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
I'm going to let Pat say it tonight. Pat, if you please.
What's happening, everyone? Oh, sorry. What's popping?
I'm lost. You guys really bonded the last couple of days, didn't you?
You're fired. We did bond. Yes, we did. It's Team After Dark, baby.
Oh, man.
What's popping, everyone?
Speaking of bonding, PK Power, Pat Klein.
Bro,
bondage.
I tried it last night.
Let's talk.
I tried it today, LeRon.
What's that?
I tried it. What we talked about yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I did.
And?
Woo!
I missed
Delish.
Never thought the weekend could be
I guess
so.
I guess our dollar tier will figure it out.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Also here, filling in for Stephanie, is the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Keel.
Hi.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
How's it
I
going?
miss all you guys.
We miss you,
I feel like I've not been around for a while.
You haven't. Whose fault's that?
I mean, column A, column B.
Wait. I've actually been on more podcasts this month with Matt than you have, Corey.
I mean,
actually, this past month.
Sure.
Because the week you were out, Pat, I'm sorry, like me, Matt, and Nelly did a podcast.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. Mm-hmm. I'd never interacted with Nelly before, and that was cool.
Oh, she's the greatest.
Yeah, she was a really good time. I was like, man, where have you been all my life?
Where have you been all of my life? Matt, did you pick up on the thing?
I did not.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't. Well, and the thing is, I've noticed in the year that I've been working at my new job, I'm starting to forget shit in a way that I never have before, which means I'm being challenged a lot harder than I ever have been in my career and in life. So that's my bad. I'm working on trying to get better about that. But what was it? Because I completely forgot.
It was an old Nerds Gone Rogue musical lyrical intro.
I assumed that's what it was, but
I know you don't listen to them, so I did it on purpose. So
I don't listen to what, the Nerds Gone Rogue intros?
No, Creed.
Oh yeah, I don't listen to Creed. No.
I know, that's why I did it, because it was funny.
What was that? With Arms Wide Open?
I don't remember. No.
Or is it higher? The other one?
No, it was
6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking.
Nope.
Maybe 6 feet. Ain't
oh boy. All right. Well, pre-show topic, everybody. LeRon, I'm going to have you intro this topic because you brought this to our attention, and it was a fantastic idea. I loved it.
Hey, I have fantastic ideas sometimes.
Broken clocks right twice a day, LeRon.
Exactly. All right, guys.
Meatloaf, you took the words right out of my mouth.
All right, fellas. All right, so this is a fun one tonight. Okay, so if you were a video game boss character, and it doesn't matter if it's a minor boss, a mid boss, the final boss, the recurring boss, whatever, what would your character name be? And what would make you stand out as that boss character?
We have to have a character name?
Yeah. Did you miss the you did.
I missed the character name. I got the rest of it though.
Well, you have time because looking at the pecking order here, Matt's going first. Unless Matt needs time, because
I like this. I feel like my name would just be my name, but with like something stupid as the middle name. So here's how I'm going to set myself up. Ideally, I would love to be an NPC invasion or just fight in a From Software game. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like somewhere you have to go off to the side. Like I'm not going to be on the main. I'm not going to be on the main
He's one of
path.
those. He's a posture boss. He's one of those.
No, I'm
basically his minions. Basically, his minions is his strength.
No, just wait. No, I'm not. No, I have no minions. Just like the opening to Elden Ring. I have no bitches. I am just an NPC fight of some sort in a From Software game that's off the beaten path, whose reward is completely unused and overlooked by the community.
Oh my god!
Like
so
like
basically you're a time sink for the player.
I am Patches, but more annoying.
You're just there so they get the completion trophy. God
Exactly. I drop like a legendary like headpiece or something that no one will use, but you need it for a trophy. And
like it's absolutely obsolete by the time they get to your battle.
No, you just need to have an endurance of level 50 to be able to wear it.
And somehow I make all of the worst spells in the game viable and unpredictable, but no one else can replicate that.
Jesus Christ.
Makes sense.
Don't forget, you roll around like crazy, and then you also drink potions when you get low on health.
No, that's
because you're the NPC.
So I'd also put in the stipulation like I'm that guy who's in the
You are that guy.
Who's in the cathedral ward in Bloodborne whose health decreases. He can drink potions, but they run out. Like he will run out of potions.
Oh yeah.
So I would put that stipulation on myself. And also I would want a high health bar, but not like be the heaviest of hitting. I would like to be annoying to fight.
So you're a mid boss?
Yes, I am a mid boss because ultimately I view myself as annoying.
So is your character's first name Matt or is it Matthew?
It'll be Matthew.
Matthew. What's this ridiculous like surname?
Well, it'd be Keel. But it'd be like Matthew like the treading water keel or something like that. Something stupid. Like it would have to be the dumbest thing. I can't think like
How in the world do you make yourself the Dan Hibiki of mid bosses? What the heck?
You know, if we're going with the Elden Ring theme, it'll be Matthew, the fingered one.
The fingered one.
I mean, you're not
the two-fingered one. Because there's the two finger and the three finger.
Oh my god!
Matthew the two fingered.
Oh my god!
Here's a callback to Nerds Gone Rogue, Corey. Pat nailed it.
Nailed it.
And you guys are getting all this for $1. Thank you for being a patron.
No.
Congratulations. Everybody just unsubscribed. Oh,
I have arrived.
Matt's our only patron left. He paid to be here.
He paid to be here. Oh man.
I paid so I could be your problem.
That's called a super fan last I checked.
Yeah.
It looks like we got to send you some pens and stickers.
My wife doesn't like it when I get stuff, so please don't.
Don't need.
What if we sent the baby stickers?
What?
So what if we sent the baby stickers?
Oh, I would totally put them on my son.
That's what I'm saying.
Matt's like a gremlin. Don't feed him after midnight, and do not, under any circumstances, get him wet.
Yes, but not for the same reason as the gremlins. You know what I'm saying?
That's why he's Matt the two-fingered.
I need some way for him to fit.
God. Oh man. Who's next on this list?
Pat.
It's supposed to be Pat.
Okay, I can go now. All right.
The three-fingered.
The three-fingered. And I am the final boss. No, it'd be Pat, the Auditor of Demise. And I would be a final boss because my rage and my hatred for the world, I just want to see it be destroyed. You know, like my purpose is to just end the world.
It's fair.
So you're Kafka.
No, Kafka's purpose was to just make people miserable. Like he didn't have any goal in mind.
I mean, but he technically ended the world. He moved the damn statues out of alignment.
He reached his godhood. There wasn't anything left for him to do.
With that trippy ass laugh of his.
Oh my gosh! Which character body slams the train?
That would be Sybin.
In that game. That's the same game.
Sabin or Sybin. I don't know what.
One of them.
Yeah.
Sabin. Suplex the doom train.
Fuck Saban, that stupid Alabama coach. Oh wait, you guys are talking about something different.
Oh man. Alabama. Anyways. Good job.
Well, I guess it's my turn, right? Or Pat, was there more?
No, that was my motivation. I hate the world, and so I want it to end.
Okay, because it sounded final. It did.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was. But wait, there's more. I didn't know if there was any of that coming.
Well, here's the backstory of the character. Okay.
Oh boy.
You see, people bullied him when he was young. He found a moment. The love of his life ended up cheating on him and, moving on with, someone who was considered the hero. Everyone just ridiculed him. And, you know what? Frankly, he just said, fuck it. This world is, shit. So I'm going to end it.
I like it.
Yep. But that was only after an airship ran over his cat. I don't know.
It's got dark.
So Pat is the reverse John Wick is what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it.
Strange. That's strange. The airship wasn't that part of the plot of the Last Crusade or something?
Or anything? I don't know anymore.
We must go to Berlin.
We must go to Berlin. Wrote it to my diary so I wouldn't have to remember.
He's got a good point there. I write things down so I don't have to remember. So when people come back to work and it's like, can you tell me about this? It's like, I wrote it down. Well, tell me about it. Look up what I wrote because I don't remember it anymore.
Also, you're the forgetful final boss too. That sucks.
No, if I put it on paper, then that means I don't have to keep it up here anymore. I chose to forget. It's not important.
Wait. He could be a final boss version of V from Devil May Cry 5. Who has the book. So he I have to remember this thing I could mess with the hero with. I mean, I wrote it down so I wouldn't have to remember. He pulls out a book. Aha! Now you gonna die.
Yep. Yeah, I guess there's an emo side to me too. And technically he's that's spoiler territory.
Yeah.
You say he's half Virgil.
Half of Virgil?
Yeah, he's the weak half of Virgil until he gets the arm and then he becomes
Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah. Virgil.
Oh wow! Why I never beat the game, so I never put that together.
I've never
played he's incomplete, and once he gets the arm, he becomes Virgil.
Holy shit. Did I miss something in Devil May Cry 4?
5.
No. Like, because V is there at the beginning of the game. Did I miss something in Devil May Cry 4?
V is a character in 5.
I know he's a character in 5. I'm just saying, he showed up in 5, but I'm like, if Virgil's still alive at that, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll talk.
The only thing about Virgil is in 4 was his arm.
Because I hated Devil May Cry 4. I hated every part of Devil May Cry 4.
No, I didn't think
you had to play it all twice.
Exactly. That's why I fucking hated it.
But you played the second way through the backwards.
Exactly.
With less powers.
Yeah, I had to. You had to play. You had to play at the beginning as not Dante to play Dante to go back to the beginning.
Yep.
Jeez.
Let me stop before I get pissed.
You know what game's really good?
You better not say Devil May Cry 4.
No, the DMZ one, the one that
Yes, hell yes, hell yes. I would die on that hill.
The one that's not part of the main story or main
Yeah,
series.
I will die on that hill. It's canon. It's canon in my head.
Yeah.
It's the best one. It's the only one I've ever played and finished, but it's still
The platinum version. No, that's Team
It was Team Ninja.
Ninja Theory.
Team
Theory, yeah.
Ninja Theory, yep. Okay. All right. So, no surprise here. No surprise here. My villain name, because like I actually did a spin on this on my Twitter profile back in the day. Like I just use my first name and my last initial. So like you put LeRon and then D, and it sounds like a video game villain name. But
LeRon D.
But I'll make it even spicier though, because I will use my middle initial in there as well. So LeRon AD. And you best fucking believe that I am the mid boss that comes back as the final boss, because the final boss is a wuss because you somehow beat him. I want to thank Corey for helping me out on this one, because Corey did some.
It's like the final boss in Demon Souls. Like these an absolute pushover.
I want to thank Corey for this one though, because Corey did some stuff that really like made my day with some AI magic. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be this badass like mid sub final boss that like has a sword and all this stuff. And Corey turned me into like a member of the Yakuza.
He turned you into Black Virgil.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, so essentially with that sword, like not only am I doing concussion waves, so as you whip the sword out, just all sorts of blinding forces coming at you, but when you're trying to hit me, I also phase shift, so you have to know exactly what you're doing to lay a hit on me.
So you're Black Virgil.
Is that true? Wait. Is Virgil just like that?
I'm pretty sure he teleported around those
It'll be like Zelda. He's Dark Virgil.
Dark Virgil.
Dark Virgil. You know what? I feel. I see what you did there, Matt.
but you know what? I think if you're the mid boss, it's like, so you should be BC and AD.
But you know what? I'll
LeRon BC then LeRon AD at the end, because you killed him, so it's LeRon after death.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give you guys a cheat code. You break my glasses, you expose my weakness. But you got to land a good hit on me to break my glasses.
Must be some blade glasses.
There you go. That's it for me.
Well, since I for some reason seem to be in some sort of weird Elden Ring kick, my name, go ahead and laugh, Cornelius the Divine. I am the final boss.
I love that.
Yeah. Yes, I have all of the power.
Cornelius the Divine. What a good name.
I know. I am the final boss. You must take me down to take the throne of whatever From Software's next game, not called Dark Souls or Elden Ring, is, even though it's very clearly one of those games.
Screw it. I will snuff the flame. I don't care about the throne.
I don't know what any of that means. I've just been fighting a cave troll for 5 hours.
That's a Dark Souls reference.
5 hours. So
either you're in like the end of all these Souls games, you're either taking a throne or you're like doing something with fire.
Yeah.
You're extending the light or snuffing it out. I think that's really what it is.
Yep.
Well, we did it. We're all the bosses. We're like the 4 regions of this game, and we all have our own area.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And now you got to rush us all.
Boss rush us.
Mm-hmm.
With you
caught on.
Oh boy. Anyways,
look at us. We did it.
LeRon, that was a great topic. I loved it. I love that topic.
Same.
I hope to impress you in the future with even more like good topics like that. I can't say like it's just gonna be a wellspring all the time of like good topics. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a few stinkers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wasted all your good ideas into that one idea.
I know, funny story, Matt. Like Corey was like, we don't have a topic yet for pre-show, and like in less than a minute, I'd already typed up like my suggestion in less than a minute. Like it was like Corey hit send, and the reply came immediately back.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's awesome.
I was like, ooh, I got this one. Okay.
I am a machine.
All right, Pat, you're on the hook. Next week is your you need to have something for us next week. I need to recharge from this one.
I don't know. That's a tall ask.
Oh man,
it's like George Costanza on Seinfeld. That's my time.
I'm in the middle of my refractory period, so y'all got to pick up slack.
Jeez. Oh man. All right. I want to thank everybody for watching or listening to the pre-show. If you're listening on Patreon, thank you for your support. This was a great topic.
It was.
I want to thank everybody for watching or listening to the pre-show, and we will see you on the main show.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Wearing sleeves like a coward.
Wow.
I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Don't worry. I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you on After Dark.
Better.
Hi, LeRon.
Hey, Corey. How's it going?
You didn't disappoint me.
Oh, good. What's popping with you, Corey?
I'm very satisfied. Oh man, I don't know, I don't know what's going on. Life is happening.
He's playing Elden Ring for God's sake.
I know.
No, he's hating his life then.
Look, I'm playing games on all ends of the spectrum. I'm playing. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Speaking of getting into it, also here's PK Power Pat Klein.
That's right. I'm the one that got you into it.
No.
You heard my Elden Ring spiel the last time we were together, and you're like,
oof.
on that.
I don't even.
You heard about the myth of the two-fingered, and so you decided you wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
To decide whether you be part of the two-fingered cult or the three-fingered cult.
I need an adult.
Speaking of adults, the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Keel is here.
Oh, word to El Muerto Cucaracha Exoskeleton. How you doing?
I don't know what's going on. We are just here living the dream. Stephanie,
the hunter's dream.
Yeah, the hunter's dream.
That's right.
I mean, if we're gonna go from software, let's just go. We got to go the full Armored Core. You know what I'm saying?
Stephanie not here because she has COVID.
Bless your demon soul.
Damn right.
Yeah, she's still recovering from COVID. Poor girl.
I know, man.
You know, I have not heard from Stephanie all freaking day.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe we should check out.
We need to check on her.
Well, we hope you feel better, Stephanie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
By the time
100%.
this comes out, maybe she will. But anyways, how's everyone doing? Everybody having a good week? It's Wednesday. Doing our thing. Doing our thing.
I am not on call and I'm off work tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh,
attaboy.
What are you gonna do with yourself?
He's already on his second beer, so
I'm
probably
gonna be a
more
dad. The time is already accounted for, but I'm still excited. So with my schedule, I don't get to see my son a lot because I leave right before he gets up and I get home right as he's going to bed. So tomorrow is the day that I wake up with him and I get him his breakfast and we have fun. We watch Sesame Street and he likes listening to records. So I play records for him for a few hours. Like I'm excited for that time.
My son just yells at the TV and says, Mario.
Yeah, mine doesn't do that yet, but one day.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them off their tablets and play real video games like a normal person.
I mean, those games are real games. Don't do that. You're better than that, Corey. You know you are.
I don't know if the games they play are real games.
I mean, that's like a discussion for another show.
I mean, they're just
they are just children. Like, how old is Riley now?
She's gonna be 6 on Saturday.
Yeah, like she's probably she's almost the age where like I got my first Nintendo and really started to understand what a video game was. And maybe she does. Who knows? And then Miles, I forget, they're 2 years apart.
He's 3, so 2.5. Like they're like 2.5 years apart.
Okay, so yeah,
we'll get there. We will get there. Speaking of getting there, this is the Boss Rush Podcast. If you want to support this podcast and the Boss Rush Network, you can go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Subscribing to tiers on our Patreon can grant you perks like our new exclusive pre-show, voting rights for spoiler casts and video game book club, exclusive question threads for Spotlight Podcasts, early access to After Dark, and more. It'll always,
get
though,
you there.
It will get us somewhere. As always, though, your viewership and listenership is enough for us. Subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and like this video. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. It really helps us out. Saw a few new ratings on Apple Podcasts. No review, though. Some new ratings. So we're sitting at a 4.8 on Apple Podcasts.
Nice. Good for you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. That one holding us back, the Elden Ring one from like 2 years ago.
That's because now they need to come back and they need to fix it. Okay, we're in the Elden Ring.
Yeah. Anyways, we appreciate your feedback and your rating. Yeah, you can find all of our banters, features, listicles, reviews, other podcasts, and more on our website at bossrush.net. A lot of cool stuff coming up. A lot of spotlights. I think Stephanie's done like 3 of them in the last, I don't know, week and a half or so. I don't know. Anybody have anything to plug? Anybody doing anything cool? Anybody? Pat, you're doing some cool things.
We did some cool stuff for the Boss Rush Book Club.
Yeah.
For one, we have the Boss Rush The Stray Book Club.
Which will be out by the time this episode's out.
Yep. And it features Lala from Toge Productions.
Yeah.
And she's a sensation. Not only is she a social media manager, she also is a voice actress and an actual actress.
Ooh.
She's been featured in commercials and rising talent in Indonesia.
Nice. Yeah, that's that episode is out for patrons by the time you hear this. So that'd be great.
Yep, and then later on, we will be recording our Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door Patreon, and we're going to have Boss Rush favorite Celeste Roberts back.
Yay.
Actually, I don't think her last name's Roberts anymore. I don't know.
She's still in my contacts as Celeste Roberts, so that's what we're calling her. We could call her Celeste Timmy.
Celeste Timmy, yep. And also, not only are we going to have Celeste, we're also going to have my friend Taylor on.
Yay!
She's a
treat.
treat.
Exciting.
Yep.
I hope our guests are more exciting than Paper Mario. Oh man. Anyways, LeRon, you got anything cool coming up?
No, just keep a lookout for the upcoming episodes of Boss Rush After Dark. We've got some guests coming on, and you guys will have fun.
Yeah, After Dark, featuring Matthew Keel.
That's me.
Nothing really new for me, I guess. The Aaron Grubb interview Stephanie and I did is out now. You can go listen to that.
All right.
It was really good. It was a really great interview. I was on co-op mode a few weeks ago for Secret Friends, so that was a fun episode. And we talked about the Nintendo Direct and Destiny 2.
Speaking of Secret Friends, I need to get back in their good graces.
Yeah, you gotta get on their Star Trek show.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. Especially now that that I just wrapped up on another brand new season of Star Trek. Season two of Star Trek Prodigy dropped on Netflix, and they dropped all 20 episodes of this season. So this is a first, like in the history of Star Trek, where we're able to actually binge it all at once. You know, I didn't quite go ham like that. Like I actually took my time and took like 4 days to watch it.
Well, it's 3 days too long around.
Some damn good Star Trek.
3 days too long.
Hey, I'm not hardcore like that.
Oh man. Anyways, I also have an upcoming episode of the Fun and Games podcast Side Quest is coming up this week. I think it's this week or next week, one of these weeks. So you can check that out. But anyways, let's get into what we've.
It's Matt Storm and I forget the other person.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Matt Storm. They're coming on the show in a couple weeks.
Oh, sick!
Very excited.
Sick. They are wonderful.
Very, very excited. Speaking of wonderful, let's talk about games we've been playing. Matt, you're our esteemed guest.
Well, so I actually have a bunch to talk about because last time I was on, y'all skipped me. So
didn't we? We did, didn't we?
So
or he skipped you. Not y'all. Or he skipped you.
Corey's just gets jealous of people who play video games.
So really the only thing I wanted to talk about last time was a game that came out in 2018. It's called Touhou Luna Nights. It's a Metroidvania. It's what in the Touhou Project series. If I remember correctly, this is a shmup series, but this is a fan-made game, a fan of that series. They made a Metroidvania. I forget the developer right now, but I feel like if you like 2D pixel art Metroidvanias that are not, it's not like run of the mill. It's very well done. It's very intricate. The mechanics you earn along the way are worth it, but it also does the whole, like, Merit K, when they were at Fanbyte, coined a really cool thing about Metroidvanias. They like to call them "where the fuck do I go" games, because you always find a wall that you just can't go. Either you're at the end or you need an ability to get somewhere, to get past where you're at. This game does suffer from that a little bit, mainly because from in every world you will walk through 3 separate things, all of which you'll need a different power up to get past. And it's always clear when you've got that power up, but it's also really hard to remember where the original thing was. Luckily, in my case, there's a trophy for unlocking the map, all of it, uncovering all of the map. So eventually I went back and just started from the beginning and figured out all the roadblocks and eventually did it. It also uses really cool time mechanics.
Ooh.
And all of the boss fights were really fun. Really, to me, they felt fresh. I think in the grand scheme of like video games, you could probably point to 3 or 4 other bosses that are just like these, but that didn't make it any less fun to play. The story's really cool. I don't want to spoil a lot of it. I think if you are a person that might shy away from anime girl tropes, this will be kind of off-putting, but it doesn't really lean into any of those strongly. Like sometimes I don't know how the Touhou Project handles that writ large, but like sometimes when you see an anime game that is nothing but female characters, you could see that it's probably going to be doing a lot of misogynistic ideas and objectification. Doesn't really happen here.
That doesn't happen in video games.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah, no, we've never done that. Never. Yeah, no, we've never othered women ever. Like the same playing field. But that game is a nice, if you just blast through it, you can get through it in like 50. It's like a 15-hour game. It's not very long. I think it was so nice. I platinumed it twice. I think it took me 20 hours to platinum it the first time, and then like 18 hours the second.
Ooh.
Also, playing Monster Hunter Rise again. Y'all have heard me say it. LeRon is the only one that understands Monster Hunter rules. What, you like Monster Hunter and I didn't know?
Exactly.
I didn't know. I apologize. Okay, so we now outnumber Corey 3-1, and Corey needs to just
look at that, man. We found a third.
Look, hey Matt, look, just give me 7 or 8 years. I'll come around on Monster Hunter like I did.
Fair.
We'll come back with Wilds, and he'll be like, "Oh, hey, I'm a Monster Hunter," and then after like he hits that like wall, that one monster that's basically the wall.
Yeah.
Then he'll hate.
Oh,
it
you mean his first high rank boss? You mean?
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
The one that like you easily sort through the first few monsters, but then you run into the one that's just absolutely going to destroy you. And then it teaches you how to change up your mechanics.
What I love about those games in general is when you're beginning them, the wall is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, there was that one like famous clip of the guy who could not beat Kezu. But there's, I think in Rise, like I feel like I actually had the first time I had a real rough time was Gos Harag. And Gos Harag, like retrospectively going back to it now, Gos Harag's not tough. It's more fun than it has any right to be. But it's
he was the first challenge for me, actually.
Yeah, like it's just because he's doing a couple of things that seem way out of pocket.
You know what it is. Like it's like you look at him and you think he's the same as Arzuros, but he's like the bulldogs of Arzuros.
Yeah, he's Arzuros with a fucking spine, like
with the freaking icicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
that's what I said.
But so I've just been playing that. I've been playing that honestly for trophies. I now have all of the large and all of the small crowns, and now I just have to do those annoying ass rampages to finish off the platinum. I like trophies. I apologize if that's a problem.
What?
Nah, yeah, never.
Trophies are cool.
Also still playing Helldivers. Helldivers is the most fun third-person shooter I've ever played, I think.
You mean that game's not dead?
No.
I thought it lost 90% of its player base in 7 months since the game's been out.
But the funny thing is, like, you actually get on and you like play and you communicate with people. All of a sudden, you always have people to play with. It's weird how that works. Also, like,
I was just kidding.
I've become friends with a couple of folks who started the Super Earth podcast, which I became friends with them, and I've told them this out of pure jealousy because I wanted to start a Helldivers podcast, and then they eventually had me on, and then I'm in their community, and I've met a lot of really cool people. So if you're looking for better, oh man, you have no idea the things I am. Well, Corey knows this. Our friends who used to run Phoenix Overdrive, well, they still do, but they just don't do a podcast anymore. I was responsible for like all of the things that they named, and it was all just one-off jokes that I thought were just bad. Yes, LeRon. Yes, you up front with the muscles. Yes.
real fast. Do you make a living to be that type of troublemaker? Are you getting a paycheck for it?
No. No. I do this for free.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Is doing it for free the same or worse than being equal opportunity?
So
no.
It is equal opportunity. I do it for free, and no one is safe. I wouldn't do it for money because then it wouldn't be fun anymore.
That's
I mean,
true. That is true.
and
Yeah.
the fact that like there was when in Nerd Overdrive's first like iteration, the fact that I made up a nickname for one of the co-hosts that took off so hard that they pulled me aside and said, "Hey, can you stop that?" It's like there are reasons I don't like this, and they're actually like personal, which you had no clue about. I'm like, oh, my bad, we'll never do it again. But I will say, when they were doing their community member spotlight, I'm like, the fact that you didn't call it Pawn Stars was a missed opportunity. And then a week later, Lee put Becky on a microphone and said, "Say Pawn Stars as sexily as you can." And then it was part of the podcast until that podcast was over. So I regret nothing, and it's fine.
The first episode I ever listened to theirs was you were on it.
Yeah. I was on like their second or third, I think. I feel like it was their second or third. Might have been more. I don't remember. It's been so long now. Can you believe it's been like 10 years?
I know.
It's been like 10
Don't
years.
remind me, man.
Yeah,
I get it.
We're real old.
I know.
So yeah, Helldivers still cool, still fun. And one of the things I really love about that game is how beautiful it is. I think it kind of rivals No Man's Sky in a lot of interesting ways with its terrestrial planet architecture and design, as well as the way, when you look up, if you have a chance, you look up at the sky and you see like just awe-inspiring things. And the way that the environmental effects hit in that game are very special. And then lastly, I started playing Yakuza Like a Dragon again.
Ooh.
Again?
Okay.
So I started it when it came out, and I got through, I think, 3/4 of it. And
Makes sense to restart it then.
I immediately was like, I need to play all of these games. Not because I felt like I needed to play all of the Kiryu saga to understand Ichiban's thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it showed me a thing that I didn't expect. And it immediately was one of those series that like I knew it was special, because of how bonkers it is. And there's a phrase that I heard shortly after I moved to Philly that I'd never heard in the Midwest, and it's become one of the most utilitarian phrases in my speech, and it's the words "doing that bullshit." And it's one of those things that can mean a spectrum of things. It's almost like using the F word. It can be a Swiss Army knife of insult or compliment, and a spectrum between that. And Yakuza, in all of the best ways, seems to just be doing that bullshit. Like when just the fact that in the first 30 minutes of playing, the main character just says, "Oh, every time I get into a fight, I think of Dragon Quest," and that's why the game is turn-based. Like it's glorious, and that's something I would have said when it came out. I think I probably did on the podcast I was on, Story Route Zero. And then when I eventually went to Zero, and then I started one but never finished it. Like all of that, it's just a tapestry of fun and really good storytelling. It's also a pretty good 3D beat 'em up if that's your jam. I like that it's more story than beat 'em up if you choose that, and I think that and the story is nothing short of fantastic for me. And I think, let's see, Touhou, Monster Hunter, Helldivers, Yakuza. That's it for me right now.
Sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No, that's it.
Okay.
I need to play the Elden Ring DLC, but like honestly, I'm looking at it and with the way that my job is right now and the way that I'm like prepping for a move, I just don't have the spoons. So one day I will. But
spoons.
Yeah, I don't have the mental energy for it.
No, I say give it a few months, and it'll probably be on sale.
I already bought it.
Oh, okay.
I'm a fanboy for those games, and I know I will play it, so I want to make sure that like I pay the developers I want to.
Nice.
Who's next?
LeRon, you're next, since you're drinking out of a bottle. As I was saying your name.
All right. Well, I mean,
LeRon AD.
I'm still on my grind. Like Monster Hunter Stories 2, Tekken 8, and back on Ghost of Tsushima. Actually spent a little bit of time. Haven't made to Iki Island yet, but going through. I am trying to help. What's her name? The lady where they basically like annihilated her house, and so she's hell bent on revenge. I cannot remember her name for the life of me right now. But yeah, like I've got 3/4 of her plot line done, and I feel for this lady because man, like she just wants revenge, but she wants to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where I was at. Like because of the holiday, I didn't get to do a lot of gaming because I actually traveled for 4th of July. I actually went down to visit family, and stuff like that. So I did, even though I took my ROG Ally with me, there was just no time to play games. I kind of hate that. I'm like, why do I even take vacations if I can't do what I want to do?
Yeah, they're not really vacations. You know what my wife said one time, Matt, and you're gonna learn this at some point.
I probably already know it.
Vacations with kids are just parenting in another location.
Yeah, it's just work. It's just more work.
I believe you.
Yeah, we learned that last year trying to take Aton to the mountains, and we've decided not to try and go this year because we don't get any rest. We don't get any break. We don't like. What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
We want him. We want him to go there. We want him to enjoy it. But when the house really isn't toddler proofed, and it would take us like a day to do all that, like it's pointless. And plus, by the time we get up there, there's probably going to be like an air quality advisory because of all the wildfires popping up out of nowhere again. So yeah, I totally get that 100%.
Yeah. Oh well, good times. Good times.
So where are you at in Monster Hunter Stories?
I am let's see. If no one's played this game by now, like this game's been out for like a hot minute, but Wrath has been stolen from me.
God damn spoiler.
You're not there yet, Pat?
No.
My bad.
Oh,
my bad.
Oh no!
Because Pat's playing it too. Like I thought by now Pat was gonna get there. I thought Pat would have been there.
No, I've been focused on trying to finish off Trails of Cold Steel 4.
Where are you at right now in Stories 2?
It's still chapter 2.
Oh damn! I am so sorry because I'm in Act 4. I'm so sorry.
It's cool.
But
not
I mean
that big of a deal.
But I mean, I got clapped by a brute T-Rex. That was fun.
Good. All right. Because you're even now.
Because yeah, those royal monsters out there, man. Like when when you roll up on a monster that's actually just if they're sleeping in the middle of the land, you better know what you're doing when you wake them up. Mm-hmm. And I've been pretty brave because like every royal monster up until brute T-Rex, I was able to like fight. It wasn't the cleanest fight, but this is the first one.
Bring the win, doesn't matter.
But brute Tigger clapped me, clapped me hard too.
He's like, boy, I was trying to sleep. I mean, now you're gonna go to sleep.
Like I said before, Tigrex just in general be doing bullshit.
Yeah, it's all like mouth and screams.
Yeah,
mouth and screams.
And occasionally he's throwing a boulder at you.
Literally,
yeah.
Tigrex is like one side of the arena to the other, and then it stops to roar, which will knock you over, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Swing the tail, raw, back and forth, raw.
Yeah, it's like Brute Tigrex. You know, they had their espresso the first thing in the morning or something. Like, god damn, like slow down.
I love when they roar and then they throw the boulders because you know you're incapacitated and can't like get out of the way.
They roar. Then they'll leap at you, they'll roar again, and then they'll knock you down, and then they'll throw the boulders.
Mm-hmm. Waking up, getting a Tigrex attention is basically the beginning of Blind by Korn. It's Jonathan Davis going, "Are you ready?"
Yeah, but you know what? I've always loved Tigrex since they first introduced him in Monster Hunter Portable 2. Portable 2.
Nice.
Or Portable 2 for people who imported it, but Freedom 2 for
I was gonna say
us.
I think it was Freedom
because he was a brand new entry. He when the PSP versions came out.
Wasn't he the title?
Yeah, he was the flagship for that game.
Yeah.
Until Nargacuga came out.
Goddamn Nargacuga.
I just want to cuddle a Nargacuga.
I do too.
Nargacuga is How to Train Your Dragon, but mean, and I love it so much.
It's a dragon, but it's a cat. I like it.
No, don't diminish. No,
it's a panther. Damn.
Honestly, it's like the feline version of Batman. That's really what it is.
If I had any musical talent whatsoever, I would find a way to remake Heart's Barracuda and call it Nargacuga. That's how much I love Nargacuga.
Ooh, Nargacuga.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. See, Pat gets it.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Like Nargacuga and Valstrax are my two favorite monsters.
Yo, okay, so I was in for Rude Awakening the first time I fought Valstrax because
Valstrax be doing that bullshit.
First of all, who told Capcom it was okay to put a Gundam in fucking Monster Hunter? Who told them it was cool to do that shit?
Japan.
But I tell you what, everything about him is cool. Like everything from the way he flies to his roar or / scream or whatever. Even the freaking ambush attack that he does. Oh my god!
Oh, I love it so much. And the fact that it's more red in Rise. Oh
yeah,
the Crimson.
Yeah, the Crimson Valstrax. Yeah.
And then the variant that the pissed off one, the Risen Valstrax.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, what a fight. Oh.
Welcome to the show, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is what this show is, so I mean it's all good. It's fine. I like it.
Just look up Valstrax. Just look it up. Just type in Valstrax.
Maybe I will.
They call it the Shooting Star Dragon.
What are you playing, Pat? Trails of Cold Steel 75.
Yep. Trails of Cold Steel 75.
Now, have you played that series to this point or no?
I had unfortunately didn't get into it when Trails from the Sky came out.
Okay.
So I'd never played the original trilogy, but I have played the 2 Crossbell duology, and I'm up to the end of the 4th Cold Steel.
Okay.
And I have Reverie and Daybreak waiting for me.
Okay.
So
what's it like trying to get into those games? Because there's a Discord I'm in that talks about those games a lot, and the way that they talk about them, they have several like channels that are just like single game, dedicated, and like 4 or 5 of them are things like I think like, man, I'm missing out on, and that's one of them.
It's honestly, they are all connected,
right? Because it's all legend heroes from like way back.
But even the story, like all the like you will get characters from like even the first 2 series jumping into like Cold Steel, and then Reverie is literally like, since it's their 10th game, like was okay, we're just throwing every single character we've ever created into this, and it's gonna be like one of those special climax to kind of finish off like several different arcs. And then they moved on to Daybreak, which takes place on the eastern side of the continent.
Okay.
But honestly, like if you wanted to start, I would recommend like if you want to go new, the Trails of Daybreak is obviously, or it's going to be separate enough that you won't have to know too much from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I started with Cold Steel and I jumped into the Crossbow duology and then been finishing off the Cold Steel. Like, you can play these series without playing like some of the other series in it, but there's definitely more enjoyment from playing those other series because of the callbacks that it will make.
Okay.
But the other series do a good job explaining. Like I kind of got the gist of who the characters were and the events that happened in the Sky trilogy without having to actually play the Sky trilogy.
Okay.
But I would still like to play the Sky trilogy because I'd like to, you know, see the events unfold in my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that will happen. Who knows?
So you started with Cold Steel 1 then? Or?
I started with Cold Steel 1, then I played Cold Steel 2, and then when I got to Cold Steel 3, 0 came out, and I, for some reason, jumped right into 0, and I finished that series, which was kind of funny because then Cold Steel 3 was introducing characters from 0 and Azure. Like, a lot of those characters were crossing over into Cold Steel 3 and especially 4. So I thought it was kind of cool just seeing how, you know, where these characters came from and, like, what their stories are.
Now, are 0 and Azure what you were referring to as the Crossbow duology?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, since they didn't have, like, they're not officially, like, a 1 and a 2, even though they are, like, Azure is the sequel to 0.
Mm-hmm.
But it's considered the Crossbow duology because that's where that game series takes place.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's definitely a time sink. Like, these are massive games, and even like Azure and 0 with their more lower style graphics, still take like 50 plus hours to beat.
Yeah.
Cold Steel 4. Longest one in the series. I'm right now at 100 hours.
Nice.
So it's fun. I'm hoping to beat Trails of Cold Steel 4 this week before I get back into Paper Mario again. But I need to finish that because they just announced that Daybreak 2 is going to be coming out as of early 2025.
Okay.
And they've been getting a lot better and like starting to release these almost close to the Japanese release as possible. And I know Japan is planning on releasing their next part of the series, I think, at the end of the year.
Okay.
So, and the series is actually almost done, according to the the president. He said once the new one comes out, the story is basically 80 to 90% complete. So there may only be one other game after. It's technically called Farewell Zamuria.
Mm-hmm.
The one that they're developing right now. So there might be only one more left after that.
Wow.
Jeez.
This was a story that they're at their 20th anniversary right now with this story. So he said don't count on it having a 30th anniversary.
He's like, I'm sick of this shit.
That's kind of what he's like, you know, we're lucky we have a lot of veterans on this series, but they kind of want to start doing different things now.
I can imagine.
That's fair, right?
No, it's like that's a really long running series, man. I mean, like shit, like it's up there with like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, with Daybreak 2, they have that's 12 games right there in the series. So it may be a 14 game series.
Nice.
15 if you count the spinoff.
That's so many.
Yep.
So many games. It's cool though. So I respect the series for going that long, right? It's like Ys, right? I mean, that's their game too.
That's
right?
the other game series that this people make, and that one's also continuing. Like,
10 is coming out soon.
Yep. Not only is 10 coming out, they're remaking 3,
and Origins is already out.
Huh?
2. Origins is already out too, right? That's
Origins been out for a while though.
I know. I'm going through it in my head.
Yeah. No, America has everyone but 5. And there's a heavy hint that they're remaking 5. So,
well, only 8, 9, and 10 are on Switch. So, in Origins, I guess. But
the first Ys game I played was Memories of Celceta on Vita. That game was dope.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Never. I've honestly never played any of the Ys games. I want to say I remember playing one of the Trails games, but I don't get me lying. I don't know which one it was.
No, they're both amazing series. Falcom is just like back in the past, I would have considered Bandai Namco like the king of like the JRPG or like the anime style JRPG. But now it's Falcom. Like the Tales series has kind of fallen off the map and got replaced by the Trails series. Yeah.
I haven't played Arise. Actually, who am I kidding? I haven't played Berseria or Zestiria.
Berseria is good.
I've played everything up to... I think I've played everything up to Zestiria.
Yeah, Berseria is good just because it's less traditional where you more play as the bad guys in the world.
Okay.
Like you're viewed as the villains.
Ooh.
And Arise is good, but the pacing in the second but the pacing of like Act 3 though is very like rough.
I mean, I think all of their games kind of do that. At least they all have for me. More, but see, the one thing where they've shined is the gameplay has been good throughout.
Oh yeah, it's still phenomenal even with the Rise.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Is that it, Pat? Is that all you?
That's it.
Okay. Well, I guess it's
just
my turn
one.
Then. Yeah. Destiny 2, shocker. Iron Banners this week, so I've been playing that. Still trying to get through Paper Mario, and I'm trying my hardest, and it's not for the lack of time either.
I'm still like shook that you don't like it. I don't know why.
It's so like here's the thing. It's fun to play, but the time between playing the game and reading like 5 hours worth of text on the screen.
Oh yeah.
It's like a Kojima cutscene if it was written out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I'm working my way through that.
For me, it's the backtracking in that game.
Yeah.
Like, I know
too.
I know RPGs, especially RPGs in the past, have backtracking, but it's like literally chapter 5. You go back and forth to the same spots like 5 times before you finally move on to the next area.
Yeah. The part that's
Go
getting
to the
me
village,
right now.
get to the far side of the island, go back to the village, go back to the far side, go back to the village, go back to the far side.
Yeah.
That is literally
back to the village. Why'd you come back? You're supposed to be over there.
Right.
Go to the far side of the island. I don't know what's going on. Who are you again? Go back to your village and bring us some credentials. Back in the village. Y'all, we need to get these adventurers out of our goddamn village.
Mm-hmm. You should go back over to the other side of the island. Hey, I forgot something in the village. Go pick it up for me.
You get to the first side. Oh, my wallet. Oh. You go back to the village. They have torches and pitchforks. Down with heroes.
Jeez. But the game I've been stuck on, and not stuck as in I'm stuck in the game, just stuck on thinking about and playing a whole bunch instead of doing other things, is Elden Ring.
You
What?
felt the two fingers, my friend.
Yeah,
You felt
I got
them
it.
crawl it deep inside of you, and now you praise them. You want them in your life.
Yeah, sure.
Boss Rush Podcast, episode 234. Corey got fingered.
By two fingers.
Probably not going to name the episode that, but you know,
They can't all be winners.
it's
Corey meets the two fingers.
So here's the thing: I can't tell if I'm enjoying myself yet.
Oh God.
No,
but
that's as much as I love these games, every game is like that for me. I always have that moment where I'm like, oh, now I'm in.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm still waiting for the aha moment. But what I do want to say is that exploring the world in general gives me the same feeling that Breath of the Wild gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like finding these little secrets or these little catacombs or caves or whatever, and just going down in there and exploring. And the enemies that just jump out at you are kind of, I'm like, oh, okay, come on, that's a little cheap. That's a little cheap. I understand these games are hard, but like this is cheap. Okay,
It just teaches
You're
you
just
every
being rude
it teaches
now,
you
sir.
every time that you come to a doorway entry to look to the left or to the right, because you know that it's gonna have one of those little goblin guys.
Yeah, those goblin guys are just pissing me
dicks.
off. Like there's this catacombs off to the side, and there's the Matt. Both of you probably know the one with like the little fire shooter things in the temple in this little catacombs off to the left in that opening area. I'm in there, and I'm like, okay, so I clearly have to hit these fire things to make them, go down to power the thing to open the door or whatever. So I do that. I get to the second one. I hit the fire thing, and all of a sudden, like 9 of these goblin things jump down from the ceiling and just like murder me. And I'm just
that's the Dark Souls way.
From
They force you into the room, they force it so that you can't sneak into the room.
I wasn't sneaking. I just went in there and ran behind the fire thing.
You activated all of them because you ran into the room. And that was the plan.
Yeah.
It was a distraction. It's like when they have the one guy that you see. There's never just one guy in the room.
Yeah, there's never one guy in the room.
Yeah.
There's never one guy in the room unless you're walking behind a fog gate. Then there's one guy in that room. And that one guy is going to make your day kind of bad, probably. But
I don't know. The cat boss I beat in the first try in that catacomb was not very difficult at all.
Yeah.
I don't like how you can't summon your ashes in the catacombs, though. Is there like a story or lore reason for that?
No, you should be able to summon.
Oh, well, I was trying to summon.
It depends.
I was trying to summon my dogs.
You should have been able to summon the wolves.
And they didn't.
Unless you didn't have the magic.
Oh, I did have the magic. I sat at that fire at the grace thing. I keep calling it a bonfire. It's not.
It's a bonfire. It's fine. It's and they're not like whatever they're souls. Like whatever currency they're called. They're
runes.
They're souls. No, they're souls. In Bloodborne, I get souls. In Armored Core, I get souls. In Sekiro, I get souls. They're souls.
And then I got to the castle, like the main kind of castle where you have to fight the giant sword wielding scorpion morphed deformed face guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I almost beat him the first time, but then I went back down to like the area where that bridge troll looking thing is. And I just kept grinding there. And there's like a bunch of soldiers at the bottom, and Limgrave, I think is what the area is called.
Yeah, you're talking the path to the to Stormguard Castle.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've just kind of been hanging out there and grinding and exploring down there.
If you could stay on the mountain and kind of go off to the
east
side, there's actually a lot more trolls, and they give you more experience, and they're not that hard to take down.
Yeah. Okay, I might go that way. I just was, hanging out in this area because, there's there's a bonfire right there, and there's a bunch of guys there, and it's kind of like a real easy kind of, I can do this for an hour and level up.
Yeah.
So I would like to use like a magic bow wielding kind of build, but I started out with like heavy strength because I knew I was going to suck real bad. And I wanted to kill things early. So it's probably the backwards way to do it, but that's okay.
No,
I did it anyway.
I mean, there's, you could, I mean, it's kind of like the definition of an actual role playing game. You know, you play it how you want. So
this is when I think of a role playing game, this game checks every single box.
Yeah.
Of that, right? So, but like I said, I'm having fun. I think. Here's the thing: when you played Breath of the Wild or Zelda in general, it's brightly colored. It's Zelda. It's inviting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very freeing.
Yeah.
When you go into Elden Ring, the only thing you're thinking about is this is an open world Dark Souls game, and Dark Souls is hard, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty.
Yeah, so parts of it are beautiful and parts of it look like a PS2 game. In my opinion.
So
but that's not that's always been FromSoft though. Like their characters are like fine, they're serviceable, right? It's I think the world is beautiful. I think the landscapes and the vistas are amazing. I love seeing that big, I guess it's the Erd tree, the big golden tree in the middle, right?
Yep.
Looks amazing. Even from anywhere on the map, you can see it. I jumped down into this swampy area and almost got killed by a dragon. So that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
In that opening area, I went backwards instead of forwards and jumped down.
Yep.
That was fun. That was neat.
Mm-hmm. Now every time you go there, that dragon's just waiting for you.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Now what you should do is there's ruins down in that lake area. You should go down there and open the treasure chest. It gives you a really amazing treasure early on in the game.
I feel like you're lying to me. It's one of those treasure chests that like eats you, like in Bloodborne.
You know what? I don't think Elden Ring has those. No, I am lying though. The chest actually transports you over to a very dark area of the map.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like that.
No, it transports you to one of a very similar looking catacombs area, but it's not catacombs, it's mines.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up in one of the several swamp areas that will just find a way to kill you if you just stand there.
Okay.
But it does have some good shit lying around. So it's worth exploring, especially if you want to have magic.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been
man, that game's good. I love that game.
Isn't it?
It
really is.
It's weird because like I can't tell if I'm enjoying it or not, but I can't stop thinking about it, if that makes sense.
No, I fully agree with you. That's normal.
So I think that just says you might be into it, and that's cool.
I'm into the concept.
And and there have been plenty of games where I'm like, man, I really want to like this, but ultimately doing the thing isn't for me. Yeah. So I will watch the game be played, and that's fine.
Yeah. I'm still at that point where like anytime I see more than like two enemies in front of me at the same time, I like run away.
Yeah.
Or that giant horse guy at the beginning is.
Yeah, you don't need to fight him yet. You do not need to fight him. Don't like there were. I remember there were so many people saying, I tried for like 10 hours to beat that thing, and when I finally did, it gave me absolutely nothing. I'm like, yeah, because you weren't supposed to fight it yet. Number one, the game is trying to tell you to run. Like that's what it's telling you, because there's a thing in FromSoft games that has existed since Demon Souls, and that is when you die, instead of fighting your way back to wherever you died to get your droppings, you can just run by it. And now, granted, if you just run by things, you will piss everything off along the way. Yeah. So that becomes part of the game where you're just like, oh, how can I shuck and jive my way through this to get my souls back, and then progress. So most of that is left behind, because at least in the earlier games, you couldn't kite them for very long. Dark Souls 2, they really tried to make that a problem. And it succeeded for a very long time. In the Scholar of the First Sin edition of Dark Souls 2, it got even worse, where it's just like, nope, you have to fight everything, otherwise you will have a bad time wherever you end up. But it is one of those
Dark Souls of Dark Souls.
It is one of those things where you learn, you can learn how to do that and use the run to your advantage. And Elden Ring really tries to teach you that up front. Unfortunately, there's also the trope in just being a video game player where you see an enemy, you kill an enemy. So
yeah, I mean, I remember playing Bloodborne. I remember what to do there, but also like this game is not
behind
Bloodborne.
the pig and then you fist it.
Jeez, no, that is not what I did. No, but like this is definitely like you got to learn how to use your shield more than being aggressive, right? Like that's the whole thing, is being patient. So
you know what's funny is I actually ran like late. Most of the time I've been rolling around to avoid attacks. But this one boss I just went to, he just kept on like hitting me, and like rolling around just was not effective, and it forced me to start using a shield, and that I was surprised at how much easier it made the fight. Like his hits did not take a whole lot of stamina out of me if I used the shield. So rather than keep backtracking and getting hit by his flying sword, it was a bell hunter.
Yeah, those guys are dicks.
Yeah, those guys are dicks. Like I used the shield to block, his 3 shots, and then I went and hit him a few times, and then rinse repeat.
Yep. Trying to fight them as a magic user is a certain kind of annoying, though.
Yeah. No, I'm a magic user, so that was the issue. Like my attacks reached just about as far as his attacks did, so it made no difference of how far back I was. Yeah, I was still getting hit.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network. But it's time to move along.
Yes.
Move along, as they say. This week's segment is Video Game Shame. Last week we did our Metacritic draft, so if you want to go check that out, you should go do that. It's also clipped out on YouTube. You can check that out too. But this week's segment is where we pick a video game or series that we are embarrassed to say we've never played or not played a whole lot of, to endure the ridicule of our friends in the audience. I'm going to go first just to get mine out of the way because I feel it. I feel the, people coming after me for saying this. I've never played a Castlevania game.
There's so many of them, bro.
I know. LeRon, you're on mute if you're talking for real.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm the one that accidentally tripped that. You've never played one of the NES games or the GBA ones?
Nope.
Okay.
Not even the Lords of Shadow?
Nope. I played 5 minutes of Lords of Shadow 1 because I was looking when my PS3 bricked, I was wanting to play God of War, and I was looking for games that played like God of War.
Yeah,
and
it was a pretty God of War like game.
Yeah, but I played it for 5 minutes and I didn't really like how it looked, so I played Dante's Inferno instead.
That's a good game.
Dante's Inferno. That's a game. Bring that back, EA. Where's that at? Right up there with
Dead Space.
But yeah, I've never played any Castlevania games. I did buy the collections. I do want to play them. Another series. I'll save. Yeah.
It's blurry.
It's a Castlevania. One of the Castlevania.
Yeah, it's one of the Castlevanias, but I cannot make that out.
It's the Castlevania Advanced Collection, Ultimate Edition.
Nice.
Yep.
So
that's this one's Aria Sorrow. Soma Cruz.
LeRon, I'm going your way next because this one breaks my heart. Because I love this game. And as much as you love Mass Effect and you've never played this.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. The one for the Xbox.
Oh man.
And I never played the PC version. Honestly, I was excited and waiting for the KOTOR remake, but I don't even know if we'll be alive when that game comes out.
Who knows where that's at?
I've thought that died.
Oh, they came out a month, 6 weeks ago. Saber said we're still working on it.
Yeah,
I think like 3 people at Saber still left.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like users on Steam have remade that game probably better than any major dev will.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Saber, but I feel like that because like that and Morrowind, like they've all had so many fan things done to them to like upgrade things. I feel like Knights of the Old Republic is one of those. If I'm wrong there, I apologize, but I know fans are going back to games of this era and trying to bring them forward in a way so people can play.
I'll be honest with you guys. The reason why I missed why I never just had the interest in playing Knights of the Old Republic is because before we got to the Force Unleashed, in my opinion, I feel like none of the Star Wars video games are actually any good. And that's really where it's at for me. And also, like, I wasn't always a big fan of like the beta canon, which is basically anything that's not seen on the TV screen or on the movie theater. Yeah, huh?
Legends, that when Disney bought them and they turned everything into not canon.
The extended.
Oh well, this is before all that though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this doesn't predate Battlefront. You never liked Battlefront?
Battlefront was fun, but I mean, Battlefront technically you were just replaying battles from the series. Am I correct?
You're correct.
And what's the problem?
I mean,
I know what you're saying, Ron. That's Battlefront's overrated in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also, like Knights of the Republic, you don't play that game because it plays good, because it plays like garbage. But that story is amazing. The story is amazing.
It does not play well, but it's like one of the if you want a good Star Wars story, like that keeps you in.
Oh my gosh! And the twist is so good.
Yeah,
see, I know about the twist.
Yeah, well then you don't need to play it.
I'll even say Knights of the Old Republic 2 is amazing as well.
Yes, the 2/3 of it that came out is amazing.
Exactly, it's dope as fuck.
Would you say it's better or worse than Jedi?
What?
Oh, better. Oh, way better.
Jedi, Survivor / Fallen Order.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also the one who thinks
I love Fallen Order though.
I haven't played Survivor, but Fallen Order, like the main, like at least regardless of which path you take in Knights of the Old Republic, the main character seems to have a personality. It seems to be fully developed and fleshed out, regardless of inserting the user into their place. Cal Kestis is a cardboard box as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, and I know, son of a bitch.
Yeah, they didn't write his character well.
And I know that it changes in Survivor. People said Kestis was better written in Survivor.
You can give him a mullet.
Again, it's not an upgrade.
I don't know. Marin's still the best character in that series.
Exactly. But the actor, not like trying to throw shade at his work, but the material he was given was just boring.
I kind of feel like Cameron Monaghan plays the same character in every show he's in.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Have you seen Gotham?
Yeah, I watched. Yeah,
dude, his skill range in Gotham was freaking amazing. Look at how many versions of the Joker he played. He literally played like every freaking version that the comic made, from psychopath to gangster.
Yeah, not bad for a Hobbit.
Is he small?
Yikes.
He played one of the hobbits in Lord of the Rings.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
His brother did.
Was that not Damon Monahan?
No, that was Cameron
No.
Monaghan.
It's
Oh, my
Cameron
bad.
Monaghan.
Whoops, my bad. I haven't
all the
watched the
same.
show and I don't care.
Pat,
Yo.
what's your game series?
The one game of the year that I have never played and have still technically no desire to play, even though everyone raves and rants about it, is Hades.
I've never played it either. If it makes you feel better, Pat.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's technically not really a series yet either.
Oh, no. But the way people like said like, oh, you have to play Hades. It's like the quintessential roguelike game that is just so good. And it's like, I don't know if I like that though. Like, I played Binding of Isaac. I did not like Binding of Isaac. This just looks like an isometric Binding of Isaac.
Oh no.
Okay,
I don't know. I feel like go ahead.
As someone who is a roguelike enthusiast and can really speak to the style, Hades is not the quintessential roguelite or light. It's not that it's neither of those. It is one of those that if you don't like those, it is the best one to play for the specific reason of the more you play, the more story you get. Like with Binding of Isaac, you had to beat that game in so many wild ways to get the story. And even then, the story is written very much in the way of a From Software item description. It's not a lot. It's not super fleshed out. The community has done yeoman's work to sort of make it this grandly epic thing. And it's 100% my shit because it's one of my favorite games of all time. But Hades is 100% not that. And by the way, I was thinking of Dominic Monaghan, not...
Yeah, that's Cameron's the actual Estes. Dominic is the other bro.
Okay, so I looked it up. But yeah, Hades is not that. And while it does wonderfully exhibit a lot of great qualities in terms of like modern roguelites that aren't turn-based, it would be the one that I say, if you don't like this genre, this is the one you should play. Like that's really it.
What about Dead Cells?
Dead Cells
is a fun game.
I mean, what do you prefer? An isometric, situation, or do you prefer a side-scrolling 2D Metroidvania-ish, Metroidvania adjacent situation?
Honestly, you know what? I gotta go. I'll take a game like Hades any day versus a Metroidvania. Like I've never actually, like, with the exception of like the classics like Castlevania and Metroid, which is how we got the word Metroidvania, like I feel like everything else has just been like a pale imitation. And I know I'm about to offend a lot of people who are listening, and I'm probably offended a lot of developers of these games and stuff like that. But I mean,
Ori is fucking amazing.
Ori is amazing. It is amazing. I did not say that they're all bad games. I just said the majority of them are pale imitations. Yeah,
I prefer the term search action game.
I still like Merritt's "Where the fuck do I go" game. That's still my favorite.
We should call these games now Ori Night games instead of Metroidvania. Or Hollow Blind Forest games.
Well,
get it? Because Ori and Hollow Knight.
We got it, Pat.
Did you?
Oh man, good time.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, that was a great segment. I love that segment.
Okay, so me,
Corey was about to do it.
Corey's about to do it.
That's what. Hey, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Matt. Sometimes Corey's got to whip it out.
Oh, come on, Matt. You've seen worse.
If I had pearls, I would clutch them.
Oh, whoa, please. The lady doth protest.
I do declare. No. So for me, I'm going to name two. I've never played Chrono Trigger.
Me neither.
And anytime I say I've never played Chrono Trigger, I get
I can feel an aneurysm coming on.
Yeah. Don't worry.
I gotta go, guys.
I could put you on my OR table. We'll diagnose that.
Oh my God, you were not in our chat yesterday. Oh, by the way, speaking of Chrono Trigger, did any of y'all listen to that 17-minute podcast?
Nope.
Who listens to podcasts these days? Honestly.
Hey, Corey. I'm gonna go ahead and put a 2 weeks notice in. Like, I'm officially leaving the network.
Okay, bye.
Matt, welcome to the team.
Another white guy. All right.
I'm gonna withdraw because you don't need another one of me.
Yeah, like where the fuck did our HR manager go? Like, she disappeared like 3 years ago, didn't she?
I don't know where she went.
So I've never played Chrono Trigger, and not because I didn't want to, or I just never got around to it. I did play Chrono Cross at release. Shut up, LeRon. Just stop. Just stop. My first entry into Monster Hunter was Monster Hunter World. I don't want to fucking hear it. Okay.
Hey. I don't judge where everybody's entry to Monster Hunter is, unless it's Monster Hunter now, and then I have questions. But
Sure.
I don't question. As a Chrono Trigger fan, like Chrono Cross let me down so bad.
See, but I played Chrono Cross and I loved it. I'm like, this is really cool. And then someone said, "Did you ever play Chrono Trigger?" I'm like, "No, what's Chrono Trigger?" And they're like, "It's the first game." I'm like, well, okay, now, but see, because I've had to deal with shorter and longer versions of that anytime I say I've not played Chrono Trigger. Like,
let me tell you boys a story. Chrono Cross technically was not a Chrono game. It was originally called Radical Dreamers.
Yeah, I know. That's why the Radical Dreamers edition came out.
Yeah, they figured that wasn't going to sell well internationally, so they decided to throw Chrono Trigger elements into the game and call it a Chrono game.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. But I liked Chrono Cross, and I will stand by that. I'm not sitting here saying, just because I'm saying I like it doesn't mean I'm sitting here saying it's one of the best games of all time, because who the fuck cares about that argument? I will say I liked Chrono Cross. There's plenty of likable things about Chrono Cross. I never got around to playing Chrono Trigger because it's the same way. Like, I will probably never play Final Fantasy VII because the way everybody talks about it, there's no way my experience is going to be the same as theirs, because I'm not going to experience at the time they did. That time for me has been taken up by other things, other games, and I may, if I do play Final Fantasy VII, I will probably come away and go, yeah, it's all right. But like, I don't think it's like the best thing ever, because I still think we are getting better ideas out now. I mean, frankly,
Matt, you might be surprised with Chrono Trigger. I would actually say it's pretty timeless.
Yeah, I don't want to do that thing that Matt's saying that everybody else has done to him. But I feel like, I feel like Chrono Trigger is like one of those games that gamers have to experience. And I'm saying this. I'm not saying you, Matt. I'm just saying as a gamer, like, I feel like more gamers should play Chrono Trigger than they should be playing the original Final Fantasy VII.
Sure.
Yeah, the story is actually very well done and probably one of the best time travel stories out there. Like, the time travel makes sense.
My heart broke at a pivotal point in the game when the hero, the character you created, gets killed.
Dude,
and
you
it's
never
part of
played
this,
the
and it's
game.
part of the storyline. And it's part of the
okay.
storyline, like when that scene happens, when that scene ends, like you take over with the other characters. This is a hero death before Aerith's death ever happens.
Oh wow. Now that's kind of wild. Now that
Yeah.
you've told me that, and while anyone would say, "Well, I don't want to spoil anything," but like if you give me something like that, that's something I can chew on. That's something I can think about. That's something like, oh, okay, it's trying some things that other games aren't doing. However, I will say something that came out around the same time that really sort of set an expectation in terms of like video game stories. I know, like, I'm not 100% sure time has been good to this, but the Xenogears
Yep.
game, like that game is amazing, and nobody ever talks about it anymore.
That game is amazing, and it's also inherently flawed. Is wild too,
Which is another beautiful thing. Like, I mean, it's the reason why I love the original Nier game. It's the reason why I like Nier Automata. Like that game has tons of flaws.
It's pretty cool though that Xenogears still actually has influence in the gaming market. Just look at Hi-Fi Rush. There is a scene in Hi-Fi Rush that plays off the Xenogears Disc 2 scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 ties directly into Xenogears, which is crazy.
How are they able to do that?
Unofficially.
Yeah, it's unofficial, but
okay.
Let's see, they can't do that.
Well, the main character. Well, this is like behind the scenes stuff, but the main character in Xenoblade Chronicles 3's name is Noah, and the original code name for Xenogears was Project Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are elements that play into Xenogears, but they have to say it's unofficial because of
Yes, Square has the licensing.
Yeah, who came up with this topic? I feel like this topic is gonna putting all of us at odds of each other.
I mean,
that's the point.
But like this is a good discussion because like I'm not sitting here because like most of the time when I bring up that I haven't played Chrono Trigger, people are like, "What the fuck? You haven't played Chrono Trigger? How have you not played Chrono Trigger? You play all these games, but you haven't played Chrono Trigger?" Like, well, if you're gonna just hit me with the judgment gavel, I don't really think I need to be in this conversation anymore.
Thank you for saying that. Because like I used to get hit with that a lot, back when Mass Effect was the thing, like the first Mass Effect. Everybody was swearing up and down, like, because like I love Star Trek and I love like that show 24, which basically, if you look at Shepard, it's basically Jack Bauer and Captain Kirk wrapped into one character. And everybody's like, as much as you love these shows, you should be playing this game. And I'm like, no, because it's an RPG and I don't play RPGs anymore.
Yeah.
Eventually I came around on my own and played it, but I played it after all 3 games are out because there's no way in hell I was going to wait to play those games one by one.
Well, like I remember a topic, or I remember a point on Nerds Gone Rogue where someone asked Corey told a story about someone saying, "Oh, well, you watch Game of Thrones," and he's like, "Oh, no, I don't." And they're like, "But you play video games." Like,
how does playing video games correlate
what is exactly
Game of Thrones?
Because and honestly, they're just saying, "Oh, well, you're a nerd, so of course you like all of this nerd shit." Whereas like someone comes at me and they're like, "Oh, well, you say that you talk about all of this stuff, so you have to like this." I'm like, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about." Like, you're a nerd. I go, "Yeah, I like weird obscure music stuff. I like weird obscure sports stuff. Like, if you want to talk nerdy to me about that, now we can have a conversation. But just because I play video games doesn't necessarily mean I like whatever the hell you're
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, and I absolutely cannot stand anything Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I watched the first half hour of Fellowship like 4 times, and I fell asleep all 4 times. I'm like, well, this is just something I'm never going to watch.
Well, my fundamental problem with Lord of the Rings and almost any type of fantasy thing is I can't wrap my head around magic. I'm more of a science fiction person than I am a fantasy person, and trying to read like those books with fantasy and stuff like that, and them trying to work their way with magic in words is like, oh no. I can't, like, because if my brain can't understand it, like you might as well have me reading like an Urdu script at that point.
I mean, like yeah, and I read those books when I was in high school and I loved them then, but that was a time in my life that is no longer present. I don't really care to revisit. Don't really like. I've seen all 3 Lord of the Rings movies because I read the books and I wanted to, you know, you do that at that point if you have positive associations. But yeah, I don't think those movies are all that good, and I kind of agree with Randall and Clerks too. It's just 3 movies about people walking.
Because
I mean, where's the lie?
It sure as fuck was 3 books about people walking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. That ended with eagles picking them up at the end.
Oh, they could have just flown there.
That's the gimmick.
All right, can I say this was a good topic? Did everybody go? Did I not skip anybody this time?
This is a good topic now that everyone got
It's a good topic. It's a good topic. It's a good topic. Like, you know, if Corey hadn't said he'd never played Castlevania, I would have never thought that. And Pat, for sure, like I never would have thought that you'd never played Hades. Like I feel like
Hades is like the quintessential Pat game.
Exactly. With all the games that Pat rattles off week after week about that he's been playing and stuff like that, I just knew like Hades was a notch in his bedpost. I just knew
I kind of feel I kind of feel like from a story perspective, like it would be right up your alley, more than anything. And like Corey, like Mr. 400 episodes of a Nintendo podcast, never played one of the
and there's
essential Nintendo games.
There's like 20 plus Castlevania games out there.
I know. Well, so I mean, I have this as a rotating topic because there are a lot of popular series that I've never played, and we can get into it on the next episode or next time we do this topic. But I've
as a PlayStation guy, I got the next time this comes around, I got one for y'all that's gonna like knock y'all's socks off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not bring it up now because it's going to launch a whole nother discussion, and I don't feel like being ridiculed for this one either. But it's a series I've always wanted to play. Unlike Castlevania, which is just like I could play it or not. But let's get into the banter of the week. Boss Rush Banter. You can go to bossrush.net and read our daily Boss Rush Banters over on our website. We pick one every week to discuss. This one might be a quick one, but it's the ever growing discussion of physical versus digital and how recent games are not getting physical releases. And this is by Shane Kelly, contributor to the Boss Rush Network. So this was brought about because recent games like Hi-Fi Rush, Hellblade 2, Alan Wake 2 did not get physical releases when the games released. Now, 2 of those titles have gotten limited run releases or are scheduled to have limited run releases, which I bet Hellblade gets the same treatment at some point, because that seems to be the route that Xbox is choosing to go. But is this a growing thing / concern? Because it's also a route that a lot of online games are taking. Destiny hasn't had a physical release in 7
since the launch, right?
7 years of Destiny 2 had the disc.
Yeah.
Forsaken technically didn't have a physical release. It was a code in a box, which was neat. So I don't know. How are we all feeling? How are we all feeling about digital versus physical anyway?
Well, digital is probably going to be the way of the future.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Sony just got rid of their Blu-ray department.
I know, which is hilarious because they just signed that contract with Disney to produce their Blu-rays moving forward.
They were cutting. Okay, I did the research on this. Sony was cutting back on the actual Blu-ray medium itself. Well, it's like folks like me who are data people that go out and buy a stack of blank Blu-rays and using the transfer media to. That's what they're cutting back on. Like they're not actually scaling back on actual like physical print stuff on Blu-rays. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the research on that because I was like, but also like Sony owns the patent to Blu-ray, so like they can do what they want, but at the same time, I had to look into it just to be sure because I was like, I just want to be sure like if this is the direction that Sony the company was going, and I found out that it's more or less the actual like not the digital media that everybody consumes. It's the writable media that they're shrinking back on.
Yeah.
I mean, and the tinfoil hat thing, the tinfoil hat perspective is, of course, everything's going digital because ultimately they don't like. There's a. You could make the conspiracy theory that corporations don't want consumers to own stuff.
Oh yeah, I was about to say
There's physical. It's way easier to delist that way.
Yeah, I was about to say there's two schisms going on. Number one is that one that you just pointed out there, Matt. Because and that's the reason why I forget the guy's name, but he's got basically the class action lawsuit in effect about how you can't just sunset games that people actually own and stuff like this, or people spent money on. But I also want to say that I also feel like the other schism going on here is that it's another way to make more profit because what's happening for a lot of these companies is they'll release a game, all digital, suck up like that maximum cost, like dollar value, for it. Games now are $70 for the most part. Games now are $70. You get them on digital. Like a year and a half later, they found it's like, oh, we're releasing the physical edition because apparently you guys wanted it, and then everybody fucking double dips and buys that game again at whatever the deemed full price is for that. Sometimes it comes out at the exact same fair price. Look at you, Nintendo. Sometimes it comes out at a bargain value. Like shit, like we hardly ever see Game of the Year games. Games happen where like it's the game plus all the full DLC. I mean, yeah, Mass Effect Legendary Edition is the last one I can remember that I actually physically bought. Actually, I didn't physically buy that. I bought that digital, but yeah. But I feel like it's a schism. But I also feel like we have the chicken and the egg scenario going on here because like as gamers, we kind of did this to ourselves.
Yep.
We double dip. We double dip all the fucking time. We double dip when it comes out on a different console. We double dip when it comes out on a portable platform. We double dip when there's just a good fucking sale going on.
Look, not to pick on anybody in the group here, but has anybody met Edward Varnell? Ed's gonna single-handedly keep this part of the market afloat. Honestly, because I realized it was getting ridiculous to me because Capcom is my favorite publisher, and like I had a problem because like I had at one point I had 4 different versions of Street Fighter Alpha 3. What?
Yeah,
man. What a life. What a time.
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 3. I had the Dreamcast version, I had the Sega Saturn version, I had the PS1 version, I had the re-release of it on PS2 and PS3.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I have 3 versions of Twilight Princess sitting on my shelf right now.
We are part of the problem. We are feeding the cancer. We really are. But I can't tell people. I'm not going to tell people how to spend their money because I make bad decisions with my money too, especially when it comes to video games. It's kind of why I draw the line at like buying all these collector's editions because sometimes I get the shipment, I open it up, and I'm like, man, this wasn't even worth the $400 I spent for it.
Yeah. I just had that revelation with all these. I have all the Destiny ones, but I was like looking at them and opening them up, and I'm like, why do I own any of these? The only 2 cool ones are the Final Shape and the original Ghost edition, which came with the ghost that talks, right? The Dinglebot ghost.
Yeah. So my thoughts on games on having physical release version, especially at launch, I feel like it's absolute bullshit because the companies know that people that there is a majority of people out there like we as gamers, we have fights online and almost in each other's faces all the time about physical versus digital and stuff like that. And there's a nice majority some that actually want a physical release of the game. We also know part of gaming the system is if you have a physical copy of the game, the only way you can no longer play the game is if it's DRM, which means like you always have to be online, or they take the servers down, which means like you can no longer play that game in the first place. That's the only way that like that they can get around that someone has a physical copy, but we don't want them to play. And I don't even think they're twirling their mustache saying, "Nah, we don't want them playing our game anymore." I understand, like it costs money to keep these damn servers open. I get that, and us gamers, we're also fickle because like for everybody that like double dips, on a game, there are people out there who's like, oh, I'm only paying for this one time because like it's here for forever, until I turn around and say the servers now or the game sunsets, they will play that game forever. Look at the people still playing Black Ops 3. Wait, what's the oldest Call of Duty that still has their servers up? Because people
they all do on Xbox.
Okay, yeah. Oh well, they revived the servers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna say it's right, but I am gonna say it's not okay. That's where I stand. That's where I stand as far as like new games not having physical releases and stuff like that.
I mean, the big one right now is Alan Wake, right?
Wake.
Because they were like, we're not doing a physical, and then at Keely's birthday party this summer, they say we're releasing a physical through limited run. And it's like, well, now all those people who bought the game are, like it's the double dipping thing, like you said. Like that's the biggest culprit to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's one thing like Hi-Fi Rush, it's a smaller game, right? Like, okay. Granted, Microsoft published it, right? So it's not really a smaller game, but like it is a smaller game. Does it really need a physical, Game Pass, whatever? Okay, that's understandable. I get it. But Alan Wake 2, so many people were looking forward to that, right? And like, I feel like A, not being on Steam, but B, not having a physical copy in stores really hurt that sales. They still haven't made their money back on that, which is crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And so not that it didn't like sell well, but like, all the money that Epic kind of put into publishing that they haven't made the money back yet, but that's not Remedy's problem. That's Epic's
it's not Remedy's problem. That's not Remedy's problem. Yeah, true that, but also at the same time, like, and Corey, like it was a couple of weeks ago, right? Because like I was really bitching about like I really want to play Alan Wake 2, but I did not want to get on EGS, and I can't remember you basically shamed me, but it's not the factor that actually made me buy the game, but I actually bought the game because I was like, you know what? I just want to be part of the discussion that you, Pat, and Stephanie were having. I really did, and I was just tired of fucking waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no reason why, particularly if we want to look at the Epic Game Store versus Steam thing, like, there's no reason. If you're going to release it on Epic Game Store, you might as well release it on Steam. You might as well. The reason why is because you already know. It's just like Apple versus Android. There's a smaller part of the market share that has Apple or iOS. I'm sorry, not Apple versus Android. Apple versus Windows. There's a smaller share of the base that invests in Apple versus Windows. So why are you chopping off your own nose to spite your face?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think part of that though is because Epic published it, right? And so if you got to have an exclusive to draw people to your store, but like, I just put it on Steam. Microsoft's putting their games on Steam.
Exactly. And and the sad part is a win is a win. You know what I mean? I don't that's one of the things I can't understand the logic in. Because like, why are we the PC is like the last place to gatekeep, because like we already know what happens when gamers on the PC side get fed up of waiting for a game. We know what happens.
Everything ends up on PC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Legally or otherwise.
Yes.
It ends up on PC.
Yeah. And like
I could hang up this call right now and figure out how to play every Nintendo game ever on my computer right now if I wanted to.
Exactly. And it's not like, and it's not because like Epic Game Store, the Amazon store, the Amazon Prime store, GOG, Steam, all this stuff. It's all part of this. It's all on the same environment. Like this is not like PlayStation versus Xbox versus Nintendo, where 3 different ecosystems. All this shit's all on the PC. So make it make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I really stopped caring about physical copies like a long time ago, except for Nintendo stuff, mostly because I'm deathly afraid that everything is going to happen like the Wii and the 3DS and the Wii U. And so
that's a valid reason though. Like I'll be honest with you, because like it's getting to the point now where it's like I think back right now, if we're gonna look at for a game preservation perspective of this in this conversation right here for a moment, I think about like the first video game system I had was an Atari 2600. And I did not have a small library of games on it too. I don't understand how my parents actually bought my 10-year-old ass like that many games for the Atari. I guess they were really like I guess they were really like this shit shuts him the fuck up, so let's just buy them and stuff like that. But I think about all these games I had physically that are hard as balls to find now. I'm talking about my NES library, my Super NES library, my Game Boy library, my Game Boy Advance library. All that cartridge format, because like honestly I really didn't start holding on to stuff until like stuff came out on disc, and then I was still selective about what I was going to keep and get rid of on disc and stuff like that, so like part of it's game preservation, and I'm not sure, I think Nintendo probably is a bigger culprit in this, because Nintendo wants to hold on to their IP so tightly, even if it's not technically their IP, because they'll come after your ass. They'll come after your ass if you download a ROM for Contra, which is not one of their games.
Yeah.
So
the big moment for me, right, of like it doesn't matter, right, was actually pretty late in the Xbox One PS4 life cycle, where Shadow of the Tomb Raider came out. And like that game went gold like 2 months before the game came out. And if you bought a physical version of the disc and did not update it, it had an entirely different ending, an entirely different last level, an entirely different like boss fight at the end. Entirely different on disc, on that first run of discs. And so the whole ending was changed, and you can go look up the original ending online and compare it to the new ending. And it's like, well, what's the point of even having the disc, And obviously Destiny is like a big thing too, but that's an online game, so it's different. But like, you just see all these patches, and, this game is only, I mean, Call of Duty at this point is just the license on the disc, right? Like that was the big thing with Modern Warfare 2 last year. And so it's like, why do you even have the discs anymore? Aside from like, oh, well, I guess I can resell them at some point if I need money. That's kind of like really the only reason, in my opinion, now. Aside from Nintendo games, because they aren't up to date on technology, we'll say. And, B, their games are pretty finished when they come out. Most of them. Anybody else have anything else to say about this before we move on to our questions? And we'll run through these questions real quick.
I still like physical, but I'm picking it up way less than I ever have.
Yeah. I will say I do still have physical games of games that I love. Like the Gears of War trilogy on Xbox 360 or Mass Effect, those games. But
I'm picky about what I get physical these days now. I'm picky, but I'm a person that seems like I'm always like moving, and so like I'm just tired of packing up all that shit. So like video games is the lowest common denominator for me as far as like stuff that I need to lug around and put in boxes and worry about.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a series I'm very passionate about, and it's going to have a really cool steel book. That's really the only thing I'm going to get a physical for nowadays.
Yeah. I Shit. What was I going to say? I was saying something and then I forgot. Oh, well. Anyways, let's move on to these questions. Let's run through these real quick and then we can get out of here. Shane, thanks for writing that banter. We're going to try to feature these every week. So our last segment here are listener questions. You can join the Discord, ask your questions there, ask questions on the Patreon thread. You can email us. You can look for Twitter threads from someone. Sam Hall writes in.
Do you think we should save this one for when we have our David?
What do you mean?
Because this question was more aimed for David of Left Behind. Or, sorry, the podcast, the guy who's supposed to be
right.
here.
Right. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Lasby. I'm like, what?
No, not Lasby.
Good catch, Pat. Good catch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll save that for him when he's on the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll save that one. Our next question comes from somebody called Klimov_author via Twitter.
Hi, Stephanie.
Interesting. Do you think Nintendo wasn't mentioned? This is regarding the Double Dragon 3D brawler that they announced today, just randomly on Twitter. Arc System Works is making a 3D Double Dragon game, apparently. Do you think Nintendo wasn't mentioned due to the new console launch? Due to the new console launch at some point next year, will we see Nintendo absent from game announcements like these for a while because of that?
I didn't realize there was no announcement for this game. I did see the announcement for Double Dragon, but I didn't realize that there was it was not announced for Nintendo. Honestly, I don't even know if I should be shocked, overall, because in all honesty, I don't think it has anything to do with the new console coming. I don't think so. I feel like I talk about this every so often. I feel like I've mentioned this maybe once or twice a year, when it comes to like games, like how they release on certain consoles. I still ultimately think certain developers and publishers put their games on systems that they think is going to sell. Or they think where the fan base is at. Now, I'm not saying the Nintendo Switch is not a place for the new Double Dragon game. I'm not saying that at all, because Double Dragon has a pedigree. Once it jumped from arcades, it went to the NES. I don't know if I can say that anything was motivating this particular game. Now, to answer the long question is, will we see Nintendo absent from game announcements like these for a while because of that? Given that we just got out of the topic where we were talking about corporate greed, they're gonna put anything they can on the Switch, even if it's like the bottom bitch version of it, of that game. They're going to do it because somebody's going to buy it. Look at how shabby like Mortal Kombat was on the Switch. Mm-hmm. People still bought that damn game though. People bought that game until
lot.
Huh?
It sold a lot.
Yeah, people bought that game until we actually had credible people on YouTube and in the blogosphere and different podcasts announcers saying, "Do not buy this game for the Switch." People were buying that game until a lot of people came out and said, "Do not."
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't feel like the new console on the horizon, because if we're being honest, just look at how the last two console generations have gone. The new console comes out and they're still putting games off on that old system halfway into the next console's life cycle. I think this is an anomaly, if anything else. Because come on, it's Double Dragon. There is nothing too hardcore about a Double Dragon game that it cannot exist on the Switch. I have yet to see like a AAA. Okay. It's coming out wrong, but you guys know what I mean. Nobody's throwing AAA type money behind the development of a Double Dragon game.
Mm-hmm. It's Arc System Works too, right? I mean,
which they're great. They're a wonderful company.
Yeah, I mean, they're great at fighting games, but like a 3D brawler, I don't know.
Arc System Works has done stuff like this before, because
there was they
did the what was it, River City Ransom thing as well. They did something with that.
They own the IP.
Oh, okay.
Way Forward did River City Girls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there was a River. They re-released a whole bunch of River City stuff.
I think they re-released the Kunio-kun collection at some point, which is
like all that. And I think maybe they were talking about a 3D one of those. I could be just making this up. I don't know.
Sounds legit.
But if you've seen modern Guilty Gear, that's a brilliant mix of 2D and 3D. So I'm here for them doing that. And that said, it's been a long time since a Double Dragon game has been anything close to good.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the last Double Dragon game was.
The last one I remember is Neon. I think there's probably one.
Yeah, Neon.
And I think Way Forward did that too.
Yeah, and it was not good. Sorry, Way Forward. No disrespect.
Yeah. So, Pat, did any comment on the Switch thing?
I would say don't read too much into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't have a new console until they say they have a new console.
Yeah.
And it could just be it's coming out for a Nintendo console, but it might be coming out later, so they didn't put it up there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes if the game is delayed from the other versions, Nintendo likes to announce it in a direct. So that happened with Hogwarts Legacy. I think that happened at one point, and I don't know, there was something else too. But
did they have an actual date in this announcement?
I don't know. I didn't look at it. I don't care enough about Double Dragon to look at that stuff, to be honest.
So I was gonna say it could be like a situation where it's coming to Xbox One, all the consoles and Steam, all the platforms, and then like it'll be added direct and just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when the first Hollow Knight came out, there were rumors about it going everywhere, and then Nintendo just dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
What a great E3 that was.
She also asks thoughts on the new Game Pass price hike and the non-day one tier. I think everybody just likes to be angry. I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, the new price hike, it didn't surprise me. I knew it was coming. It didn't surprise me.
The day they added Call of Duty, you thought the price wasn't going to go up when they added Call of Duty to Game Pass? Okay.
Well, I wasn't going to be that facetious.
I am. You guys are all dumb. Also, it's $3. If you can't afford $3, then maybe you should find a new hobby that's not as expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm the guy that's paying $27 whole a month for Netflix because I have to have like the 4K HDR like format for like the content that I watch, and stuff like that. So I mean, like $20 for Game Pass, which I mean, like right now I was towing the line of should I go ahead and get rid of it before this announcement came out. So it's not like if I leave, it's not because they're $20 now. I mean. In my opinion, the moment it got over $14.99, I was already like, this is expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, the PC version is $11.99 now. So it's the ultimate version that's $20, which gets you day one releases now and Xbox Cloud
and Cloud,
PC.
Which I don't use Cloud at all. Like I mean, in all honesty, I'm back to where I was at with PlayStation Plus. Like I haven't had PlayStation Plus in over a year.
Yeah,
and now I'm like this with Xbox Game Pass, and I'm like, I don't know. Do I just?
Yeah,
I don't know. I probably because I'm more of a PC gamer now. So like my livelihood for having this stuff does not rely on me having to play games online on the console.
Yeah, my thing. I canceled my Game Pass for the first time in like 10 years, like a month or two ago. I bought Hellblade because I like that series, and it doesn't Destiny, since it's a free to play game, doesn't require Xbox Live Gold to play online. So neither does like Fortnite and all these free to play online games. So technically Halo Infinite doesn't require online either because it's free to play. So there's really like, I mean, when Indiana Jones comes out or, South of Midnight, sure, I'll re-up. I'll play those games. I like those games, but I need to be more careful about the subscriptions that I'm paying for, and
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So, and like my kids have subscription stuff now that we pay for because of one reason or another, right? And so if I'm not using Game Pass, that money can go towards those, or like, my daughter's in ballet, my son's going to preschool, that's going to cost money, and swimming lessons and all these other things that kids are supposed to do.
Yeah.
I am kind of surprised right now that Xbox is still going the monthly route, having the monthly option for things like Game Pass.
It's always boggled me that they've never had a yearly thing.
You can get it for a year, of course, but honestly, like the Sony PlayStation PS Plus, that you have to get as a full year package. Amazon Prime, you have to get as a full year package.
Actually, wait. No, PlayStation has 1 month and 3 month.
Mm-hmm.
They probably just stopped them recently, but when they first came out, they were wooing people with like 1 month like trials.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking for a Sly Cooper game, the only way you could get it was through PlayStation Premium. And to upgrade to Premium, you had to upgrade the entire annual pass. So I feel like
something's not right, because
when Stellar Blade came out, I had a 1, 3, and 12 month option.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking is like, because when they launched the 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus, I just spent the difference on what would have been, for what was left on my PlayStation Plus, and it was only like 2 months at that point.
Yeah.
No, I'm walking to Best Buy tomorrow, and look, I know for sure there's at least 3 month PS Plus cards out there. I know for sure.
Yeah. Plus, like, if you're gonna get a year of Xbox, let's say they didn't discount it at all, or maybe they discount it, 20% or whatever. Seeing $239.99 or $199.99 on a plastic card is daunting, right? $45 or $50 or whatever is like way less intimidating than $200 or $240, right? So because that's what Game Pass Ultimate's going to cost now a year, is $240 a year.
All right. Well, I may be mistaken, but for some reason it seemed like when I looked at it, it's like, oh, you're going to have to upgrade this much to be able to play. It's like, okay, I just what if I only wanted it for a month?
Yeah.
But it was forcing me to do it for the year.
That's how they get you.
Yeah,
they get you. But I mean, if you're ingrained in that ecosystem, like, that's probably not going to be an issue for most people, right? Like, they're going to buy the yearly one anyway. But like, also, I don't know. I don't play my PlayStation enough to even have PlayStation Plus right now. So,
yeah.
Well, that does it for questions. I don't care about the Xbox change. It's a business. Businesses don't care about you.
They don't.
They're in it to make money. And Game Pass is their business model. So if you don't like it, don't buy it. Vote with your wallet. That's all I got to say.
Word.
Speaking of voting, I vote that we get out of here. That's the end of the show. I want to thank everybody out there for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. Remember, you can get the pre-show for as little as $1, as well as other perks over on Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. You can go to see all of our content on bossrush.net. Matt, LeRon, Pat, thank you for your time tonight, as always. I love you. Stephanie,
I love you too.
We miss you. Feel better. And everybody out there, thank you for watching and or listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave us a nice rating on podcast services. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.